Alright, so I'm standing at LAX airport and I'm about to go through security screening, and I see all these people are going through this big new machine that they have there, and probably most of you know it's a full body screen thing, and I'm a little nervous because I don't want some other dude. It's kind of weird. So I was contemplating the other option, which is a full body pat down. See, what they do is they just rub you all over and get molested. I was watching some dude go through that, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that either. So this is a tough decision. Which way do you go? So the topic of debate is these full body scanners, and people are arguing that they're bad for airports, that there's all these issues with privacy, with health, and do they actually work? So I'm going to try to convince you that they aren't so bad. Like, there's these, that once you get past all these issues, it's not going to be a problem for you to walk through it. So I'm going to try to, so next time you're staying at an airport and going through this situation, you'll see that it's not so bad and you'll have no problem walking through this. So I'm going to introduce the privacy issues, the health issues, and the practical issues of the full body scanner. So first, privacy. Critics complain about how these full body screeners, they show too much. Like, it's basically shows an outline of a nude body, but it's your face is blurred, so that part is covered, so there's no linkage in face and body. So I was looking at the Minneapolis Star Tribune, and I found this little tidbit of information that TSA, which was created after 9/11, after the big scare at the airport security thing, and they've taken steps to relieve the privacy issues that people may have. So when you're going into the full body screen, there's this guy standing here telling you put your hands up like this, and he's not going to be seeing the image. The guy who's seeing the image is sitting in a cubicle, and he won't be able to see you. So there's no connection between yourself as a person and the image. So for me, that's good enough. If there's no linkage, association between the image and the person, that's fine with me, and I have no problem with some random person seeing me naked, so basically. So as you can see, TSA is taking these precautions to make these privacy issues not kind of a non-issue. So if you can get past that, you'll be fine if you're worried about that. The next point is I'm bringing up is what is privacy really? Because when you bring up security, you put privacy in a new perspective. And this guy named John Adler, he told the Washington Post, and by the way, he's the head of the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association, and he said, "I don't consider the full body screens an invasion of privacy. I think a bomb detonating on an airplane is the biggest invasion of privacy of a person can experience." So this is a pretty thought-provoking quote. First off, like, he puts to the forefront your livelihood. That is the most sacred thing you have, your gift of life. And for someone to take that away from you by blowing up an airplane, that's taking one of your most intimate, private things that you own and just invading it. So in perspective, your privacy in the sense of someone seeing you naked is not as important as your safety and on an airplane. All right. Going on to the second point is the health issues that have been criticized from these full body screens. One of the things is the radiation given off from the machine. It's basically an X-ray, and whenever people hear about radiation, they think that any radiation is bad for you. Like when I was hearing about the nuclear crisis in Japan, people were talking about they're just worried about the radiation flying all the way across the Pacific Ocean and harming us. But I was kind of laughing because that's just like really irrelevant, because the radiation coming from there is going to be so little. And that's the case with the full body screen. And there was this research done by Pratik Mehta of UC Berkeley and Dr. Rebecca Smith-Byman of UC San Francisco, and they put this into practical terms. So they compared the radiation exposure from going through a full body screen to less than 1%, get this, less than 1% of the radiation exposure you get from just flying in an airplane. So when you fly in an airplane, you're high up in the air, and there's going to be less atmosphere, and there's radiation flying in from space. So you're going to get more radiation than you would from on the ground. So if there's less than 1%, people don't even worry about radiation when they're flying because it's really a non-issue. Like, it's not going to harm you. So if there's less than 1% of radiation from flying, then really less than 1% is nothing to worry about when you go through a full body screen. So if you put that in perspective, that's really nothing to worry about at all. And then going on to, and by the way, little radiation is okay. It's not going to be harmful. Okay, going on to terrorism prevention. Like, is this thing going to be practical? Will it stop the bad guys from taking over planes and putting drugs onto planes and flying overseas? So the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, what they do is the machines, they say that they detect metal and non-metal stuff. So this is much better than what was before it, was the metal detector, which only detected metal. So anything like drugs and chemical bombs will not be detected. So this is a step forward. Now you can see chemicals. Back in 2009, December 2009, there was this incident, and this guy, he brought chemicals. It was a chemical bomb, and he put it in his underwear. He was known as the underwear bomber. And luckily he didn't follow through with his plan. But if the full body screen was in place, it would have stopped him easily. You would have seen the chemical in the casing, and you would have stopped him without questions. And then that's a direct use of the full body screen. An indirect use would be Michael Chertoff. He said that the more difficult you make it for someone to conceal weapons, the fewer people who are going to be willing or capable of concealment. So that pretty much what that means is that you're making it harder for them to do what they want to do. So that's going to discourage the bad guys from following through with their plans. And it's like the saying in sports, a good offense is a good defense. It's like passively, it's a passive act of, you just have it there so that the people will have to find another way to go around the system. And even though that they'll find another way, you're forcing them to move on. And it's like a constant cat and mouse game of them evolving, and then you have to catch up with them and evolve to them. So we got to keep up with the curve. So in conclusion, even though full body scanners may seem frightening, the TSA, they have implemented all these precautions to make you feel comfortable, and they are safe, as in there's very low radiation, and they're useful, as in they stop the bad guys from doing what they want to do. So next time as you step through airport security, don't be afraid to walk through a full body scanner. All right.
So Ashley, what did you think?